Alright, it looks like we are live, so I'm just gonna introduce the next project that I'm working on. I am working on this Pumpkin Golem for my one player in my D&D campaign. Uh, it was by Nut or RJ, and he wanted a Pumpkin Golem, so I'm gonna give this a shot. I have my other wet pellet here to try out and see how it goes, and have fun watching and seeing how it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna get some music started and get started. Full disclosure on all of my art stuff. I am an amateur and don't really know what I'm doing completely, so I just roll with it and I get what I get. If there's any issues with audio or video, just let me know. I can adjust as is. But yeah, I'm gonna get started. You can do like a green base coat everywhere but the head. So I want a lot of this to be sort of vines for the muscles. I kind of want that green hue to, a green color to show through even on the parts on the front that I'm going to paint, like a brownish, dead vine color. Still want there to be that tint of green. Overall, I think it's going to be a very interesting piece to paint. I'm curious to see how this wet palette holds up, because I'm not liking the paper that it came with. Green has good coverage though. This is kind of nice. Oh, the red and the orange are going to be really hard to punch through on that on the head. Probably thin this a touch. Try to go with the muscle as much as I can. It was between this and the bone golem. I thought that this one would be a little more interesting. I think the bone golem would be a little more challenging, but really is kind of boring to look at right now. Just a big old swath of green. It's probably not gonna be too long of a stream tonight, but I want to get at least the base colors down, I think. This isn't quite thin enough. Some weird pooling. Not a huge fan of that. But anyways, how are you guys doing? Hope well. Playing any games? I'd probably be on Apex if I wasn't doing this. It's not what I want to do much. Got the paint too high up on this brush. That's better. It's going on like kind of a wash or a glaze, which is more of a like a thinned out paint. It's used to fill in shadows usually, but I think it's doing alright covering its base coat. A nice vibrant green. Just put way too much paint on the hand there. Reaching the final bit of base coat 1. Probably gonna have to do a couple. Also probably do the actual base of the miniature last. Make sure I get the actual mini painted to my satisfaction. Oh, and this model is by artist Mia K. She has accounts on Thingiverse and my mini factory, and he did give me permission to stream this paint, I just wanted to make sure I gave her credit for the model, because I am not a 3D modeler. And her prints are awesome. She has this one. One of my favorites is... Where is it? She has a line of baby beasts. And so this is one of them. It's an owl cub. Little baby owl bear. Then she has a sporling, which is really nice. And it's probably my favorite model so far that I've seen. Sorry, I threw that out of focus for a second. But yeah, she has really good models on Thingiverse and my mini factory for free. And I would recommend going to check her out because her, like I said, her stuff is really good. I just hope my painting ability does it justice. Because that is what is going to determine how good this looks, I think. I mean, the model itself looks amazing. It's a ton of detail. Ton of detail. Right now it's hard to see because the green paint that I just laid all over it, but it's a very detailed print. I figured that would make it a little interesting to paint as well. But also didn't, like I said, I didn't want to paint a bone golem. Because one, it sounded very difficult to get the bone to look good and not just white or a yellowy white. And I just thought this looked a little more interesting overall. When I'm done with this stream, I am going to put her link on my Twitch page in the extra links section that I have, if anyone wants to check out her other prints. Always looking for different ideas for stuff to paint minis. I have a whole pile of plastic that is just out of frame. I do need to paint. But I am going to be getting into game Frostgrave and trying to get my wife to play. And so I'll have a whole bunch of minis to paint for that. Because you have a little warband. It's a little like tactical tabletop war game similar to Warhammer. But I don't like the whole guns mixed in with my fantasy stuff. So it doesn't have any of that sort of 40k tainted stuff, or what I would call tainted. I know a lot of people feel differently than I do about 40k. It's very popular. I'm sure it's interesting, but I'm gonna pass on the guns in my fantasy. Wow, this paint job just looks so bad right now. That's the problem, is it oftentimes looks worse when you're starting. And it looks worse before it gets better. The case with all the models that I've painted so far. They've looked bad, at least in my eye. And it improves over time as you put more layers and highlight the details you want to a little more exactly. I wouldn't say that I've actually finished any of the paint jobs that I've done, but I've gotten them to the point where I am satisfied and to the point where I think I can go with the level of skill that I currently have, which just beginning. So that level of skill, I am judging myself as not the highest. but enough to be satisfactory to get something on the table. Alright. Job's done. I'm gonna thin this down even a little more. And should probably do a second base coat, just to ensure that I have proper coverage. It's gonna be a little bit thinner. Make this dark green pop a little bit more. I'm already seeing muscle lines that I need to fill in and address. If I had a green primer, it would have probably been best to just spray it with a green primer. I didn't even think about that until just now. But they sell primers in all sorts of colors. I used white just to make the orange head pop a little bit more. Could have probably gone with a gray. I have gray, black, and white. Now that I'm looking at it, I should probably go with gray and then just on a white coating from the top, which is called the zenithal highlight. And that would have been a lot easier to do, I think. I think this green coverage would be a little bit better. It's not bad though. It's filling in pretty nicely. Being really thinned out. Got decent color on there. I am debating what I do for certain parts, like these tendrils that are sticking up. I think I want to go with green for like the muscles and vines, like I had originally said. See, I'm just butchering that excess on this base. Looks just where that feet meet. Looks bad. I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. I'm gonna bump up the ISO just to give a little more color, show a little more variation. The white was very blinding, at least to me earlier. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to see if there's a white spot or if it's just the way the light's hitting. That one was a white spot, though. I'm getting a little annoyed at how the paint is drying on this. I'm not a huge fan of some of the spots. I think I might have put it on a little too thick at first. Which, very frustrating to myself. Yeah, see, I got too close. I got some paint in the ferrule, which means it's not going to clean out very well. Switch it up and do the pumpkin. These are some Reaper paints. They're a little thinner to begin with, but coverage on this is excellent. Wow. I am very impressed. I was here, other painters that I watch complain about the reds, and they usually unanimously recommend Chimera Red. And I don't want Chimera Red, because I don't want to buy the whole set. It's pricey. And I have a limited amount to spend on this hobby. But with a couple coats of this, it'll be pretty good coverage, I think. Okay. Starting to get some texture that I don't want because it's drying. I need to get a small heat gun so I can do that and dry it a little more nicely. I think I'm getting some solid coverage though. I don't know exactly how I want to build the brown up. I think I do want it to be like a solidly in the brown category. Switch up the music though. It's a really short track. There we go. Didn't wait long enough. It's starting to texture. Another problem with me, I'm a little impatient when it comes to painting. Sure. I keep remembering where you guys are looking at. Make sure I keep it in focus for the most part for you. But yeah, I think it's coming together pretty nicely. Right now it's a little boring. Just green and red. And just a solid green. to back this up a little bit. Might still be a little too bright. Right. Just it is going to take many coats of this red to cover the green mistakes that I made. So that's gonna be fun. And by fun, I 100% mean annoying. And it's all my own fault, 'cause I'm a noob. Yeah, there are a few spots that are like need to be really red, and they're just green. That's annoying. And the reds. I do want some of this green mixed in with brown. Yeah. It's a greenish brown. Alright. Start with a normal brown. Just want just a few spots. Like right here. Brown has excellent coverage. Yeah, start here. These. Just like knee pads here. Do the inside of this brown. I think this brush is a little too big. There. Hands, I get. Actually, it looks like these are just gauntlets. See if I can take that off. Okay, I was able to save that a little bit. Yeah. Go brown for these gauntlets as well. What would be gauntlets on a normal humanoid? They're bracers, I guess. They're just wrist pieces. They do not go on the hands. It's like a old vine casing that goes on. Just hit the backside right under there. I don't think I like this wet palette as much as the other one. Doesn't seem to be keeping the paint as moist as the other wet palette did. Which is a shame because I like the design of this one a little bit more, but function over form is one of my big things when it comes to painting minis. So I want to be able to use tools to get the results I want, not get the results that I want. Down a bit. The rest of this bracer. Then I'll have to move to the feet. I think the feet I am going to do a little mixture of the brown. So this part here is clearly like a boot. I'll do some thinner layers just to block out these colors a little more. It's like a boot or like an ankle piece. I'm going with the straight brown right now. Of it. I have to switch to a smaller brush for the fine work there. Yeah, because I'm painting up on his legs. This brown reminds me a little bit of like a tree trunk. Just the way the model is. It's interesting. And like I said earlier, I'm just kind of blocking out the color now. Not going for super full coverage other than on the head, which right now looks a little more orangish, a little more orangey. It's actually a fire red. Bring it closer to the light. Get some texture from the paints going on right there, which isn't a great sign. Then what's that spot? Now that that's kind of blocked out a little bit, move into the greenish brown that I have here. Do that for this part going into the ground. It's like a weird slimy green-brown color. But I'm gonna go for a kind of a living, like half living, half dead plant creature. So the tendrils in the ground would be partially alive, I think. And as such be like a sickly greenish brown. So that's the shade I'm gonna go for, is like half alive plant. Like, oh, I forgot to get watered because he was in the graveyard. Can't forget him. Except for he's gonna make sure nobody forgets him. Because he's a living jack-o'-lantern. Don't you go picking pumpkins out of my pumpkin patch. Fucking kill you. Better. That's close to the shade that I want this to be. Brown. I'll do the darker color in between. Dry a little bit. If I can finish the feet off today, that'd be really cool. Because then I could do the base potentially before the next time I paint. I don't know if I want to stream that. Failures at basing. Maybe I'll make a YouTube video out of that. I'm gonna go with this straight, like, sickly green color that I have here. Go just over the tops of these. I'm gonna have to do some glazes of an in-between shade. More brown. This is the part I'm not the best at. Just making sure I get the right consistencies and shades. I think I got it though. There. Can't really see the layers because I blended them properly. Like that greenish tone for the base. So we can come back to this brown and start doing the chest. Yeah, I'm gonna go with chest. So, go over the top. I don't think I want to fill in all of the spots in the middle. gonna go perpendicular to them because I just want, yeah, I just want these like fine and cages, yeah, like rib cage covered. I think this is the right choice for these here. Leave the green to show through. Back, same thing. Back's a little bit smoother though. I don't think the back's gonna work quite the same. Well, the back is definitely, because the golem's booty is gonna be covered, I think. It comes through to right here. I just realized this whole leg here is a little bit different as well, so. Fun. I have to come up with another, not another color, but probably will. Paint the gooch. Alright. Go, you know what? I'm gonna go like a grayish brown for the top layer there. Even older looking. Ooh, this gray is strong. There we go. Give it an older look. Now it's starting to show how tricky this thing is going to be to paint. A little bit more to it than I thought, so I'm doing my best. Right. Probably do an older color for the breastplate as well. Add that on there. I like the way that looks mixed in. It's good. Like highlight color to use for the other browns. I don't know what to make of the back. It just looks so weird to me. Do have to get the spines painted though. This is tricky to paint. It's playing really well with that green. As in, really good coverage for it. Just with like a single pass of the brown, which is much appreciated. What is everyone up to? Playing any games? Other than just chilling and vibing to the music. Which is supposedly like a pirate themed sound pack. Ah, server updates. That sounds kind of boring, not gonna lie. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Inns? Thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was thinking once I get the base coat on this done, I'll probably stop. It shouldn't be too much longer. Wanted to block the colors out and then probably switch for a little bit. eyes aren't what they used to be, so I gotta take it slow. If I try to do a ton of paint on a mini in one night, my head starts to hurt, my eyes go fuzzy. Could be that I need glasses. I think I mentioned that the last time I streamed. I think I need glasses. But yeah, I think probably gonna be done in a second here. I'm gonna put one more coat on the pumpkin head. That with the red. So that it's dried all the way. Just trying to get some of my earlier mistakes covered up. I'm gonna be doing that like this the whole time I paint this. Oh, just trying to cover up some mistakes that I made. But yeah, I'll be on Apex in a little bit. If you're down, I am most definitely down for some Apex. I think that's gonna actually be good for me for tonight. Guys, might actually switch and stream some of the Apex later. I don't know. Have to grab my dinner real quick and then I'll be hopping over. But thanks for watching, guys, and have a good night. Here's the progress that I made. And be working on it maybe tomorrow night. Not sure yet. But have a good night, guys. Count paint, just dip them. Solid color for everything. Funny you mentioned that. That's kind of how you do the Warhammer 40k units. You just dunk them so they all start off and then paint on top of the unified color. So I'll probably eventually try Warhammer stuff, but I don't like guns mixed with swords. To me, it ruins the whole fantasy theme. But yeah, anyway, have a good night, everybody, and thanks for watching.